Hello, young scholars. I welcome you to yet another interesting class in history. In today's class, we are going to be talking about the various factors that led to the fall or to the decline of Songhai Empire. In history, empires tend to rise and fall, with new ones taking over. The Songhai Empire rose to prominence after the fall of Mali Empire, and there are various factors that led to the fall of Songhai Empire. The first we will discuss today is weak rulers and power struggles among members of the Askya dynasty. Now, after the death of Sunni Ali, the legendary founder and the king of Songhai Empire, his son Sunibaro was weak and undecisive, unlike his father. Muhammad Turel, whom later became Askia the Great, took the government of Songhai Empire in 1494 and established the Askia dynasty. But however, the Askia dynasty had a lot of power-hungry warriors who constantly planned coup and sabotaged the government of one another. Now, this constant and wholesome political practice caused internal disputes, quarrels, and mistrust among the Askia rulers. It was this state of political instability and uncertainty that encouraged the Moroccan Sultan to interfere in Songhai's politics. Now we can also equate this factor, which was the weak rulers and power struggles among the members of the Asker dynasty. We can also interpret it as greed and ambition of the children of Askia Muhammad. Alright, going further, another factor that led to the fall of Songhai Empire was the invasion from North Africa. This is the second and immediate cause of the fall of Songhai Empire, which was the invasion of the empire by the Moroccan Sultan Ahmed al-Mashar. The Moroccan wanted to control Songhai's salt mines because they had become so poor due to fighting of Europeans, Portugal and Spain. The Sultan already demanded tributes to be paid to him from the salt mine of Songhai. Now, as we have seen already, he was appeased by Askia Dawood with gifts of gold. But however, the Sultan saw the internal weakness of the Askia dynasty and he used it as an excuse to end the dominance of Songhai Empire. In 1590, he sent a well-trained 4,000 soldiers with muskets, gunpowder, and mortars across the Sahara to fight and to confront the Songhai army with spears and bows and arrows. The two armies met at Tundibi in 1591, and the Songhai fled when they heard the sound of the musket. Now, despite the large army of the Songhai Empire, they lacked coordination and sound leadership. The Songhai Empire was subsequently destroyed after it was looted by the army of Al-Mansur, led by Juda Pasha. The empire ended the following year. Governing was so vast in the empire and it proved to be too much for the Moroccans, and the Moroccans soon relinquished control of the region, that is, the Songhai Empire, letting it splinter into dozens of smaller kingdoms. Now, in this case, the availability of gold and other precious minerals, coupled with the control of trade routes, made the Moroccan rulers to invade Songhai. Gao and Timbuktu were conquered. Songhai became a vassal state of Morocco until it broke up into independent states. Now, next we are going to discuss of the factors that led to the collapse of Songhai Empire is trade decline. The trans-Saharan trade seriously declined because of the series of attacks connected with the invasion. The various routes were rendered unsafe as robbery of caravans became a frequent phenomenon in the empire, that is, along the trans-Saharan trade routes. Now, this eventually led to a shift in trade traffic from the western routes linking Songhai to Marrakech and Aez to the eastern routes from the Hausa land and Borno to Egypt and Libya. Another factor we will discuss today is decline in agriculture. Agriculture suffered a setback after the destruction of Songhai, and this led to a period of famine. Next, we will discuss the weakness of the army in Songhai Empire. The civil war in Songhai Empire hastened the fall of the empire. Now, it is noteworthy to state at this point that in 1588, a civil war broke out between the urban dwellers and the rural dwellers. Or put differently, you can say the civil war broke out between those citizens of the empire that practiced the Islamic religion and those that practiced the ATR, which was at the time the African traditional religion. During the Civil War, most of the army commanders and soldiers from the western region, which was the non-Muslim region, they were killed in the war, and the war took place in 1588. The civil war made the victors, whom were the Muslims at the time, they lost more than the losers. There were thousands of soldiers who lost their lives, and the Moroccans sent spies to investigate the condition of Songhai forces before they were invaded in 1591. Now note, the civil war in Songhai Empire was fought in 1588, while the Moroccans invaded the Songhai Empire in 1591. Now, next up, we'll talk about poor system of administration as a factor responsible for the fall of Songhai Empire. The government of Songhai Empire was weak. The strategies that were put in place by their rulers were not effective. The first ruler of Songhai Empire, whom was Sunni Ali, was not a pure Muslim. He used political situation to his advantage, and before he could consolidate his position and the empire, he died. And the next ruler, Askia Muhammad the Great, was a Muslim. He divided the Songhai Empire into two parts. One part was the western part, while the other was the eastern region. Now, this division, based on religious frontiers, created enmity instead of unity in Songhai Empire. Now, the outbreak of the civil war in 1588 resulted in the poor administration of the Songhai Empire. Like I've said earlier, one of the reasons that led to the civil war in Songhai Empire was due to the fact that the empire was divided into two parts. One part was dominated by those Muslim faithfuls, while the other was dominated by those people that practice the African traditional religion. And instead of this to cause unity, it instead caused grievances in the minds of the citizens in the empire. And the civil war was as a result of this division. Now, with this, we have come to the end of our lesson for today, and I know you must have learned a lot. Until we meet again in the next class, goodbye and stay safe.